So welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to do a little bit of a tutorial on the Mustang. So I'm actually going to do a little bit of a walkthrough on a debadging of this dealership badge. And also I'm going to put a new wing on the car, a new spoiler. So I'm going to kind of walk through both of those processes. What I've noticed on a lot of the videos here recently, watching some of the Mustang debadging and some of the spoiler installs here recently, is they've used a body panel removable tool to do some of the debadging and also some of just the 3M tape removal. And that does work. I mean, it works pretty well and it's pretty quick and efficient. But to me, it seems like that could do some damage to the paint and also to just possibly putting some dings in the body panel. Of course, with the spoiler, it could actually be covered up. But if you decide to remove this later on, or the new spoiler later on, or change to a different style of spoiler, I think that you could probably notice that, or it just, to me, there's a better way. I like to use the fishing string method. It's a little bit slower. It's a little bit longer of a process, but it's cleaner. And honestly, it works just better overall. And I'm going to walk you through that process, and I'm walking through the process of the spoiler install step by step. And I just hope y'all enjoy. So I'm really hoping that I just have to heat this badge up and don't have to do a lot of anything else to it. But I do actually have some goo off to actually apply behind it if necessary whenever I use the fishing line. First though, I'm going to use some just quick detailer. I would honestly like to have some clean paint to work on this first, but it is an awful rainy day out today, so I don't have time to really wash or the ability to wash it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to spray some detailer kind of around the area that I'll be doing. And just a small area, it's not going to bother it too much. And I do plan on doing a full detail in the spring and actually probably doing some ceramic coating, maybe some Avalon King or something like that in the future. I'm not really sure what route I'm going to go yet with that, but it does need to be done. So anyways, let's go ahead and heat this area up. You want to use some good even heat with it. It would have helped if I had power. Okay, but here we go. We're going to heat this badge up. It's on low. Again, nice and even, just across. Get that glue nice and melted. If I think correctly, this should come off really easy. It doesn't seem like it has a lot of tape behind it. Let's go ahead and turn it up just a little bit. It's pretty cold out today, so it might just take a little bit longer. Okay, let's see how it is right now. Just with our fingernails, ease it gently. Let's hit it with some more heat. It's coming up, but I think it won't need much goo off or anything really much at all, just pulling it up. Try it again. Oh yeah, it's coming. And just like so. There, that's gone. All right. So it doesn't look like there's much residual of anything there. And well, there is, the outline of it. So what we'll do is take some detailer and get over the top of that, just clean it off. Any residual goo. Make sure we have it nice and clean. I figured the spoiler would be in the way after the fact, so I just wanted to get that out of the area before we put that on. Just takes patience with this. That's really what it takes. All right. Let me get some tools and we'll get started on the next. I'll be right back. All right, guys, so this next section, we just got to take this cover off right here. And we're going to use this clip pry bar here to take care of that. But first, you have to take these out. And they should just twist, from my understanding. They might have to pull out. We'll just have to play around with it and see. That looks like they twist, so let's see how easy that is. A little bit hard, but not bad. All right. Okay, it's coming. Good deal. First one. Second one. And now we get these pop clips out. One thing I've noticed, interestingly, about this car particularly, I don't know if it's all domestics, but compared to my Subaru, these clips are much more difficult than the Subaru was. It may just be Fords, and maybe domestics in general, but they are much stiffer. You might have to use a flathead to get in there first, depending on how thick the tool is you're using with the pop clips. Mine's a little bit thicker. Okay. And we may fast forward through bits and pieces of this, okay? Bit more of a struggle than I anticipated, but I got it. Okay, so then you pull this down. It is your escape handle, and you have to thread it through easily. And then that comes out like such, and throw it to the side. Okay. And then you have to pull out these. These are just grommets that you pull out. It's on the sides. That gives you access to the bolts for the spoiler that you'll need. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they are 10 millimeters. It looks like there's 1, 2 for certain, and I believe there is 2 more right here. Give me a second. I'm going to grab a tool, and then we'll do those.
Okay, I want to offer full transparency with that. You definitely want a 10 millimeter deep socket, because I just had a 10 millimeter regular size, not a deep one, and I ended up having to go to the front store to get the deep socket. I don't typically use deep sockets very often, so I did have one handy. And it's find it, so here we go. After a while, you can actually start.
obvious place, but really, honestly, I felt like the most inobvious place. So they're right here. It's kind of hard to get a deep socket though, right there. Just like last time, you're going to want to heat this up just a little bit before you start using any type of adhesion remover or the fishing line, because the tape itself is cold. The heat will actually help kind of start loosening that some. So I'm going to use some, we'll start just with a high heat first, because we know that the low heat probably won't work where it's cold out. And then we'll start pulling a little bit and see how it starts coming loose. If it comes loose, it may come loose on its own. It may not be that tight. We may have to use a fishing line. If so, we'll use it. And we'll clean it up, of course, with some detail spray. So here we go. Yeah. You can see it moved just slightly. Try just a little bit more. All right, so I got the heat on it. I did do some of the heat. Heat kind of got it broke up enough so I could start doing this. So be cautious with your hands, because it does hurt your hands doing this. But you just kind of go back and forth with it underneath the spooler. And there are going to be some pop clips, from my understanding, underneath the spooler. So you may come to some resistance. And once we come to that resistance, I think I'm getting ready to come to that right now, we'll pull up. And we should be able to pull those pop clips loose. We will see. It's definitely on there. Keep on going with it. We may apply some more heat as well. And of course, pull your line out before you apply the heat again, because the heat will melt the line. It's plastic, of course, ish. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to apply just a little bit more heat. Making progress. As you can see, it's moving quite a bit there. Again, this is a slow process. It's probably slower than using a body panel remover or one of those other plastic panel removers. But from my experience, there's a less risk of damage. Yeah, we've came to a point where we're underneath, or to a clip. That's where we're caught up at. So I was able to get past that. It took me just a second, but I got past that part pretty easily. It took me just a minute. Had just some lifting and playing around with it, but got past it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go about in the middle here and heat this part up. Get it a little bit warm. If we got this good. All right. Continuing on down the pathway here with the fishing line. Really. Check and see. Oh yeah, making some good progress now. That's what happens. That's okay though. If that happens, he said get a new piece of line. Give me 1 second. And lift. We got a good amount there. Go back to it. We may have came to another part that has a clip. Not gonna lie, that was a bit of a pain, but it came off. Now I just gotta clean it up. I think spraying some adhesive remover and some detailer will take most of this off. Now, some of it you do have to use your thumb to actually get some of this off. It works. It's just a bit of a process. So this is the MP Concepts V-Style painted black spoiler, as you can see probably. I got most of the rest of that off. It was a very difficult process, but most of it came off. I think we're going to be good about getting it on and actually covering up what was left, and it'll stick. Got the bolts ready to go. Now, doing this single-handedly by myself will be kind of difficult. It'd be better to have two sets of hands. I'm going to try. We will do our best. So with this actually uses Phillips heads for the hardware. Ready to go first before we start screwing anything in. And you don't want to, of course, adhere something on there first without knowing that it's going to be right. So the way that I do that is I go ahead and I pull just a little bit back of your adhesive. You can start right here on one end and just pull a smidgen back, enough to where just a strand showing. So whenever you pull it, you can finish pulling it out whenever you get it all ready and set to go. Do the same with the other end. I try to do opposite sides. I'm sure you don't have to if you didn't want to, but it makes it easier, I think. And there that is. Okay. Make sure it's kind of going up or away from underneath so it doesn't get stuck while you're working. So, what we'll do is our best at guessing, a guesstimate first, at where our holes are. Okay, that's just an idea. I mean, I'm not for certain right there, but I'm thinking in that general vicinity. I'm hoping anyways, in that general vicinity. I'm gonna come back in just 1 sec. All right, we're actually at the next day. So I ran into a little bit of a snag. I cannot recommend this MP Concepts V-Wing spoiler. I really can't. It's pretty good. I mean, it's okay. But now the hardware that comes with it, it's trash. I recommend actually going to Lowe's and trying to get some different type of hardware before you begin. I did use some of it. I'm going to be honest. I used the Phillips screwdriver or Phillips head screws. That was a mistake. There was one that rounded out, and just the location of it, I was not able to reacquire it. So if I ever decide to change the spoiler out, I'll have to deal with that at a later time. But also the other issue being the holes did not necessarily line up perfectly with the stock spoiler holes. So I did actually have to drill just very slightly. I don't know if you're able to see this. I'll show you. I drilled very slightly, and that's actually the hardware that I used to make up from Lowe's or from any hardware store that you want to use. to make up for those Phillips head screws, which look like something like that. I'm not sure if you're able to see that or not. So it looks like it's pretty stable. It is very stable. All the holes are on except for the one that's a little bit rounded out. Like I said, I could not get it all the way in or seated because it just rounded. Do not use that hardware if you buy this spooler. And honestly, if any spooler comes with Phillips head screws, if you buy it for these vehicles, I would not use it. I would go to a hardware store, find out exactly what you need. These were actually, I think, M6s. They ended up using a 10 millimeter socket to go in. So just use that. I'm going to clean this up a little bit and I'll show you the end result. Well, guys, we finished, and here is the finished product. As you can see, it looks pretty good. I'll do some better beauty shots or some B-roll stuff whenever it's nicer out. As you can see, the weather is pretty cruddy, but right now. But it did turn out pretty good. So what I'm hoping to do is the next couple weeks, I have an H-pipe actually coming tomorrow. Hoping to get it installed by next weekend. I have a extra chin spooler coming. I actually already have it. I'm going to put it in the next week or so. So hopefully by next weekend, I'll have all that installed. And I'll do another video, hopefully a driving video with some audio attached. And I'll get that uploaded as soon as possible. So until next time, if y'all have any suggestions or if you like this type of style of video, just let me know. Thanks. See you around next time. Bye.